there, and welcome back to Japan and to our whack weekend, where it is time to give you my first reaction and review to Gang Parade with LOVU. This is the first time I ever heard them, and if you want to see the reaction that I just did, because I'm about to give you the review, you know how this works by now. Pause this video, click the link in the description below, and it'll open up a separate little player, YouTube player, so you can watch the reaction, just in case you want to hear the song for the first time or see how I reacted upon hearing it. Yeah, I know how these videos work. Don't worry, I was perfectly normal and honest in my reactions. I didn't run out of the door screaming, going, "Oh my god!" It was a professional reaction, I promise. Ready for the review? All right, here it comes. So this was actually, I don't know, I really like this song, as I said. I had a couple of qualms. As always, we're honest on this channel, we don't just kiss ass with things. I really liked it, but I had to slightly view it in context of what it was. So I guess this really depends on how you approach this song. Now, I'll start pulling apart more details in a minute, but I would say if you were to approach this song as someone who has never heard any whack artist before, never heard anything like that, I think you could approach this and say, wow, that's really interesting. It sounds big, it sounds bold, it sounds original, and it sounds just like something, you know, really engaging, something I want to hear more of. If you approach this as someone who's already familiar with whack, now I'm not claiming to be overly familiar with whack, but I've heard now a few artists of theirs, and obviously I heard a lot of Bish, then you kind of hear it and you go, yeah, that's very whack. Yeah, the quality of being ultra original seems to sort of dissipate under the fact that that style of writing and that sound is very much in keeping with other songs that we've heard by whack, and you know, I would say Bish especially. So therefore, when I give this review, I'm going to be kind of accepting that that is a little bit of a juxtaposition that I can't get rid of there. That's always going to be kind of woven into everything I say about this song. So overall, how did I feel about this? Well, like I said, I really enjoyed it in that kind of whack way. Actually, by the way, just to give you a comparison, I think from a writing style, this is kind of how people feel about the production of Nakata Yasutaka, the guy who produces for Perfume and Kyari Pami Pami. A lot of people, they hear all these different songs and they just go, hey, that sounds the same. That's the same sound. You can sort of pick up on certain traces with certain writers or producers which run through their songs. And this definitely feels like this was written by someone who's also been writing for Bish. So, actually, I don't know. Do whack, I'm kind of thinking like the whole Motown Records thing. Do whack only have one writer? If they do, then wow. Maybe they just got a small pool of writers or something. But I'm pretty sure they're using the same people more than once, at least. But anyway, as I say, this song really kind of appealed to me in again, similar to what I said about the, don't say Parasites, Paradises video. They had amazing vocal layering. These guys, this song at least was not so much playing on vocal layering, but however, they did have a really nice sound together. In the choruses, they sounded like a group, something that a lot of Western sort of pop groups, like girl groups, often fail to do, is that thing where, you know, the chorus, when everyone sings together, it actually sounds like a group of people singing together. So I like that big sort of choral sound in the chorus. That was nicely worked. There was some good bits of layering in the verses. There were some, the vocal performances were all great. Some of them were a little bit distinctive, but as a general, it all felt quite smooth and well packaged. The writing style, like I say, again, I really enjoyed that. I thought that that was very much of the whack style. Like I say, something we've heard before if you take into context them as an artist group. The verses had a nice, interesting twinge to them. Like I said, there was like a guitar thing going on. There's some interesting little bits of guitar layering. And one of them, I kind of got the feel very much of like a shamisen, you know, the old traditional free string instrument, shamisen, which had, you usually play it with like a little pedal, not always, and has that very distinct twang. The riff that the guitar was playing to one side sounded very much like something that would usually be played on a shamisen, at least to my ear. So it kind of had an oddly, distinctly traditional Japanese feel in the verses. I do think that, however, it worked quite well. Well, actually, no, sorry, not however. I mean, I think it worked well as a result of that. The bridge bridge was quite simple. It just kind of went to a synth solo, but I really liked the weird synth sound they used. It was kind of a bit bizarre, but it was kind of It was nice. Well, it was inventive. It felt like it didn't feel jarring when it came, and it felt like it really just sort of melded and worked well with the song. So there was a lot of really good, clever work here, and the key change at the end, the way it built up, and you had that big end chorus. I thought that was quite nice as well. Like I say, I can't tell, because sometimes when you go through a key change, just the fact that instruments are having to change the way they play certain chords can make certain things sound like they've been turned up in prominence when maybe they haven't. But it did sound like there was suddenly more strings in that last chorus, which again helped as well, because it built up the backing. I was actually thinking during this that in songs like this, similar songs to this that Bish have done, they tend to lean very heavily on the string. The orchestral side of it tends to be very much turned up, which gives them a very, very grand, everything always sounds very dramatic when Bish do these types of songs, which this kind of felt like it lacked. But then again, if they'd lent too hard on the strings, they would have just sounded like they were just being Bish. But like I say, it did work that at the end, it felt like the strings were lifting everything up after that key change. You got a really good crescendo at the end. I think certainly, yeah, it was good enough to make it enjoyable listen for me. So I like this one overall. Would I listen to it again? Yeah, I would listen to it again. I enjoyed it, and I would definitely listen to it again. I do, however, still feel like, although it did kind of pay off more in the end than I was worried it would do at the second chorus, by the end I was happy that, okay, this was paid off better than I expected. I don't think it quite really carved an identity. As I said in the previous review when I was reviewing Paradises just a second ago, I did say that the problem with this is that one of the distinct things about whack artists is that they seem to have very varied bodies of work, which is great. I've listened to a bit of Bish, listened to a lot of Bish, listened to 3 songs by Empire, and it seems that they have a lot of variation in their music. So I really don't want to judge any of these artists too much on the first listen, because I'm sure that they all have a fair weight of variation in their music as well. However, this one, like I say, it didn't quite, in the same way that Paradises with the song that I listened to by them, again, it didn't sound so much like it was an atypical whack song as it sounded like it was very much in keeping with a lot of J-pop as general tropes. However, as an artist, I felt that they had a real distinct identity that was layered onto the song, just in the way that the vocals were done. Again, this is a writing thing, but I just felt like it came across. This one, I struggled a little bit to get the full character of the group. And you know that can be put down to just the way that the video is directed, maybe things like that. I wish, but you know, this is not to say they don't have it. I don't want to come across like I'm saying that. Just on initial impressions, I said a similar thing about Empire, didn't I? When I heard that first song by Empire, I remember saying I wasn't quite able, because of the way that was produced, it was very hard to really pick apart the voices and really get a feeling for the character that often comes through with whack artists. But then as I heard a couple more of their songs, it became much more evident. So I think it might just be the song. However, like I say, good catchy song, just fails to really highlight why this group are distinct from the others. And it doesn't really, so this song doesn't really set them apart from the rest. So I think I probably would need to hear more of these guys. Maybe I have to come back for a Whack Weekend 2 at some point in a month or two, maybe. Come back and have another go at this and see if we can listen to all these same artists again. But this is, like I say, it's not to detract from the fact this was a very good song. Very enjoyable song, really liked it. The video had some nice ideas in it. Again, I wasn't able to pick up all the lyrics, so I wouldn't really be able to say if there was some integral meaning of the song that is being translated through the visuals. However, I did feel that the visuals were not really complementing the song. It didn't feel like there was a good gel there. There were some bits which were a little bit jarring. The bit in the bridge was, I don't know whether it was supposed to make me laugh, but I did kind of feel like giggling, just the way it zoomed in. I was like, oh god, we're going to be sick. And the bits with like the mirror effects where they were twisting, and clearly there was sort of something about the idea of people's images being twisted and manipulated, which, so I'm assuming that in some way that's connected to the song's meaning. However, it just didn't really come across as doing a huge amount to benefit the song. So in my opinion, we're looking at a really good song that maybe doesn't get the most out of the artist, and a video that certainly doesn't get the most out of the song. So I feel like this is a chain of things where nothing is particularly wrong. It just doesn't feel like necessarily these things are best matched to show off, you know, what what this group are. So I think definitely Gang Parade deserve another listen. They deserve another song. And maybe, as often comes up, first songs are difficult. When you hear a second song, it's quite a different one. It maybe could recontextualize the way that I heard this song. If I hear it by comparison to another, then I'll recontextualize it. I remember the first song I heard by Bish kind of had a bit of a dancey feel, and it was Monsters, wasn't it? It kind of had like a dance beat, but with a little bit heavier. And I was like, okay, it kind of sounds like a simplified version of like a Baby Metal clone. And then when I heard it in context of their other stuff, I was like, okay, this makes much more sense now. You could hear it as part of a bigger collection of music. So yeah, interesting first listen. I don't think I got quite the taste for the group that I wanted to, but I'm definitely, I'm sure I'm going to come back to these guys, give them another little listen. If you guys know a song that you think would be a ideal contrast to this, or one that maybe just shows them off best anyway, then please do let me know. As always, that's what this moment is for. Now get in the comments, tell me what you think about this, whether you know this artist or not, whether you like it or not, whatever. Tell me what you think in the opinions of the comments of the things down below, because, hey, music is all subjective to opinion after all. I just talk to someone who's worked with music my entire adult life. Doesn't mean my opinion's worth any more than yours. But if you can justify your opinion like I try to do with mine, then we can have an interesting conversation. Obviously, if you want to like and subscribe, that is greatly appreciated, if you haven't already, that is. And also, our social medias are all linked in the description below, where we have a lot more discussion about Japanese music happening all the time, as well as pretty much everything else. And finally, a big thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. As always, keeping this channel alive. Massive thank you to you, and thank you for making it through to the end of this video. So until I see you hopefully very soon in Japan for the next one, I've got another Whack Weekend video to do, which will be coming out just after this, I believe. But until then, for now, from Japan, thank you so much for checking in, and ciao, ciao.